Hey, how are you? In this video, I'm going to explain my process of hiring a new employee. And if even this is your first employee, there's going to be some good tips in here on what you should do, what to look out for, what processes to follow, and what to have in place for you so that you can expedite this process and, avoid the issue of a bad hire, because a bad hire can be extremely costly for any business, and especially insurance agencies. They have done some studies that say that it could actually cost you up to $70,000 if you have a bad employee, you hire a bad employee. So hopefully this process, my process, helps you, and this is what's worked out very, very well for me. So let's dive into it. All right. All right, so this will help you hire a new employee or hire your first employee if you're just kind of starting up. The first things first, you need to have candidates, people that are interested in working for you, want to work for you, are reaching out, submitting their resumes. So first things first, gauge some interest, get somebody that's interested in working for you. There's a couple things I do. I post on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, ask people if they know anyone that wants to, is looking for a job, get that out there into the public, get that. You need to have some eyes on you. Ask people ask for referrals. And another place, it's funny, this is where I've gotten my kind of core team in the office has been through Nextdoor. It's an app about your neighborhood. So posting in there, it's a great place to post. Nextdoor, download the app, post in that. That's been really helpful for me. And that was good. So have candidates, step number one. Step number two, let's just say somebody reaches out, they're like, hey Chris, I want to work for you. I want to get a job working for Adelphia Insurance. I'm like, great. Next thing I'm going to do is say, send me your resume, and hey, can you take a personality or little assessment quiz just so that we can kind of see if you're a good fit for the role. They usually say yes, and then I usually kind of base it on how quickly can they respond to that email with their assessment, completing it. It's like 15 minutes long, so they should be able to do it. So I look at their resume, I do that, I do a quick assessment. From there, I will actually schedule, so the next step of my process is I schedule an actual interview. So then I'll do an interview with that person, usually by Zoom or in person, depending if they're gonna be hybrid, remote, or in person. And I go through a series of interview questions. I kind of use the ones from ADP. Somebody passed those along to me at some point. They were really, really good. So look up interview questions that are good for you and for your agency that you would like to use. ADP's work really well for me. Shout out to ADP. Next thing is let's just say they crush it. They do a super good job on the interview. The next thing you need to do is offer them a job and have that offer ready to go. Know what you're offering, know what kind of position you're offering them. Is it service? Is it sales? Be very clear on that. So then you offer them a job. Hopefully they accept based on the terms you're willing to give them. And those terms vary for different businesses. Now, next step, let's just say they took the job. They're like, sure, I want to work for you, Chris. Let's do it. I'm like, great. Let's set a date to begin the onboarding, maybe a week, 2 weeks from now, and we'll get you all up to speed and starting in that training, in that role. And so this is a very key component of the hiring process, is having a plan and having a structure of getting somebody fully trained in the next 30 days. So having it all kind of blocked out, like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and almost having a checklist for them that they can actually look through and be aware of, like, okay, the first day is probably going to be weird because I'm just going to be looking at all these new systems, logging in, creating my logins, that kind of stuff. Second week, I'm going to be talking a little more customer facing, or I'm going to be doing a little more sales or leads, or I'm going to start running quotes for the agency, stuff like that. So you want to lay those things out. I like to lay it out over 30 days, so 4 weeks. So week 1, this is what's going to look like. It's all basically systems. Week 2, it's going to be like, okay, now you're actually getting a little bit your feet wet with what we're doing here and what your role is, whether service or sales, and make sure that's very clear up front. 3, now we're actually talking to customers. 4, you're shooting your shots to make an actual sale or service an actual account. That's that. So then onboarding, have a plan, know the roles. Next thing is clear expectations, like laying out the expectations of what you want and what is a great job. That's super important too. You want to make sure that if it's service, like I know what a great day looks like if I'm a service representative. This is what a great day looks like. Or if sales, like how many quotes should I get? How many calls should I make? How many sales is an excellent day? What's an average day? And what's a kind of below average day? And I like to lay that out super clear so that if I ever do have a meeting with them, I'm like, hey man, what's going on? They know why, because I'm like, I clearly, and put that in front of them in a process. So they understand what your expectations are. So that's super important. Another big part of this next step is laying out the probationary period. Some people do 30 days, some people do 60 days, some people do 90 days. I usually, depends on the actual employee, I usually do 30 or 60-day probationary periods where it basically says like, hey, if you're not a good fit, we're not a good fit for you, you're not a good fit for us, we both shake hands and part ways, and that's basically terminating this employment during this probationary period. I think those are really, really important because like I said, hiring a bad employee can cost your business tens of thousands of dollars in the short term, and if you keep them and they wedge themselves in and stay with your agency or your business, it could cost you hundreds of thousands in the long run. So make sure you lock in that probationary period and that's set so that you can kind of bail out of a bad employee early on. That's really, really important. So now let's just say they get through the probationary period, they're doing super well, they're a good employee, they're a great fit for your agency. You want to start to nurture and coach and ask them, hey, would you mind if I give you some critical feedback and coaching? If I ever see something that you could do a little bit better? Almost 9 out of 10 times, especially in sales positions, people want to be coached and want guidance. So they'll say, yeah, of course, thank you so much, Chris. Actually, I appreciate you doing that. So you get their buy-in and you have these one-on-one meetings maybe once every couple weeks. And now this is where your role starts to shift from just being a salesperson or an agency owner to being an actual coach or leader, where you're actually developing these people, not just in sales, not just in service, but you're actually developing them personally as well, like giving them advice and helping them be the best that they could possibly be. And that's super important. And so last point here that I want to make, this is just my overall kind of process in the first couple weeks, months of getting somebody in, but just having an overall good culture and setting a culture that you're looking for. Like you should have some core values that your agency is like, this is a non-negotiable. Like if this person is like super pessimistic, it's just a non-negotiable for, at least for my agency. They need to keep a positive attitude. That's like the number one thing. If you have a positive attitude and show up and work your ass off every single day, you are going to be a great fit for my office. If not, I mean, the other skills we can work on, we can always train on, but the personality of somebody who has a good attitude and is willing to have that determination to work hard and do well, like those are things you can't always teach. So those are non-negotiables for me. I suggest you lay out your core values, like 5, 6, 7 core values for your agency. And then you guys, you stick to those. And that is where your culture will start to build, and that employee, and then you add another employee that's similar, and it starts to really kind of stack up. I like to pride myself in Adelphia Insurance. We have that motto. It's like work hard and help as many other people as you can, and I believe good things will come to you. I'm a big believer that if you can help enough other people get what they want, eventually you will get what you want. So that's our motto here. And that's from the late great Zig Ziglar. So if you're somebody like that, hit me up. I'm always hiring too for new good salespeople. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that does help, because a lot of people have been asking, like, how do you hire your first employee? Also, make sure you're in the right spot financially to hire people, because you don't want to miss payroll. Like that's a big one. And you need a team to build anything meaningful. So highly recommend building a team, hiring people. Even virtual assistants are great for anybody independent that can do that. Really, really helpful. So hope I brought you some value on this one. Hire your people, grow your team. It is the key to success, especially now in 2023 when the getting is good. There's opportunities everywhere. People are businesses are shutting down because everyone's contracting. Meanwhile, we got to be out here expanding into this recession and these opportunities. So grow a team, get good people, train them well, be a good leader, and lead by example and crush it, because that is the best. When you're closing huge deals and they see you do that, it inspires your team to, that it is possible to do these big things and make a lot of money in this industry. So that's all I got. If you get any value from this, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe, ring the bell. Really appreciate it. Also, chriscostantini.com if you want one-on-one coaching with me. I just want to talk to you if you want to talk to me. I'm not here to promote it or like push hard people to book a call, consulting call with me. I could care less. Like, I would love to help people only if they want really my help. So that's all I got. Hopefully that helps, and we will see you guys at the top very, very soon. Let's go. Peace.